Audio check, ladies and gentlemen. This is an audio check. Check 1 2 1 2. We'll be with you shortly. Good Monday, everybody. Let's get this show started. I tricked you there on that. Good morning, everybody. You're listening to Wes. All gassed up. Here's the opening song here today. Here we go. Here we go. I'm at peace with this vast blood. Only took a crash landing down in the trash mud to figure out why I've been so smashed up. Holy moly, lonely only when I'm coldly zoning, cozy in my holy home without my homie ceremonies, owning in my own, roaming through my dome, hoping that I'm only throwing stones to get you going. Maybe you could clone me, break the ache and make me hate the way forsaken snakes take their stake in what I make and break it. Maybe lay it on a plate, maybe shoot it out in space to watch it die. Either way, I ain't trying to lie. I'm just doing a little social media before we get started here, ladies and gentlemen. Taking a second to look into everything I can spirit beneath all the hate and the good in the way that they want to just make me believe in anything they can conceive. Keep it inside, I frequent the flow. Give me your ride, I'll open the door. When we arrive, I'll look at my soul. Nothing to see, nothing to know. Don't you know me, homie? I'll be on these lonely roads, riding with my dumpies open, hoping someone sees me choking. Pulling the cover up over my eyes, starting nothing to restore my sight. Put an emotion, can't keep it inside. Freaking the beat, believe it's my mind. Wondering how other words in my head will be coming right back to the start of the beat. People been leaving their evil open, hoping that God will see them free. Learn to sail your inner ocean. Hearts swollen, souls frozen. Potion got me open. I can feel the bad omen. Lost in this moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. I'm so glad to be hosting another episode of this great award-winning show. As you all know, I gave out the award, but as they say, someone has to win. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, joining us today on Monday, July 28, 2025. We got a good show for you today, as we always do. A little bit more, hopefully some high energy today. Pedro's pumped up. I'm pumped up. BNB is ripping over the weekend, jumping up 8,000%. No, not that much, but booming. We haven't seen Bitcoin, BNB moving like this since the days of SafeMoon, was everyone was onboarding to crypto in the last bull cycle. Bull run, super cycle, whatever you want to call it. Also, Trump talks this morning, roil the markets. Markets looked like they were going to open nicely this morning, started moving up, and then Trump scheduled his normal Monday presser for 10 a.m. New York time, even though he was in Scotland. And even though he had good news to talk about, the market still dumped. Nasdaq dumped, BTC dumped.
I don't know what the market was expecting. Anyway, a lesson. Gotta just be done trading Monday mornings. It's non-farm payroll week, ladies and gentlemen. Non-farm payroll week is the week of the month when the U.S. announces the payroll numbers outside of the agricultural industry, which is the big indicator of the economy. So this week will be a little bit crazy on the trading for the normal day trading markets of Bitcoin, Nasdaq, crude oil, copper, S&P 500, etc. And we'll see how that comes out. The early in the week indicator that comes out from ADP, their non-farm payroll, is usually not on the ball here. It's not a good indicator of how the payroll is going to shape up this Thursday. So be wary this week of non-farm payroll. Thursday, be especially wary, a tough trading day on the day before the numbers are released. Also, in an most amazing thing, Pedro, that happened this week, I can't believe the good news and the greatness that came out this week, end of last week, and that was Happy Gilmore 2.
What?
Happy Gilmore 2 finally came out. We've been waiting for it for 2 years now, and it dropped on Friday, and it is epic. It's as epic, and it's just as good as the first one, and it just picks up many 10 years or 20 years after the other one ended, or 30 years after the other one ended. However long, but it is epic. It's on Netflix. If you're a Happy Gilmore fan, Pedro, can you believe that original Happy Gilmore came out 29 years ago?
I can. I actually very much can. One of the reasons why is because I remember as a kid, it was a significant movement in my life. It was the deciding factor to let me know that I should join the military or not.
Happy Gilmore?
No, I'm just messing with you, too. Just joking.
I kind of figured that. Anyway, welcome to Matt Rhodes. Howdy ho, neighbor. Long time no see. Sorry about that. Super busy in real life. Everyone's busy in real life, and everyone's busy in crypto. Market's right on the edge of doing something amazing. We'll see how it shakes out in the next couple of weeks. Welcome to Crypto Unicorns. Hey, hey, and Connect Me One. Whoop, whoop, they say. Thanks to everyone joining us early on the show. Really appreciate it. We already got 11 people watching us on Rumble. Only one of which is me. Actually, I don't know if it counts my
Who's Crypto
studio
Unicorn?
view. They posted earlier that they were a YouTube viewer and came over to watch.
Awesome. I'm glad to have you guys so much. I also have I invited a few other people. I reconnected with Lioness, who we had on our show, and her husband, or her significant other. We were talking over the weekend, and me and him really were kind of connected. And he's like, bro, I'm gonna bring my community over. I really like what you're saying. I said, well, this is really kind of like I'm all about self-custody, and I'm huge about DeFi because of the decentralization aspect behind that allows people to truly have freedom, right? And be able to there needs to be two systems, right? And I think DeFi, along with fiat system, is because I think centralization, or the centralized market within crypto, is basically fiat. Even though they sell it, even though they sell crypto. But he said that, he's like, oh, that's awesome. Well, let's link up and we'll meet him. I said, cool. I said, dude, we'd love to have you over on Rumble. Major help. We're trying to build that community up. And so if you're going to come over, please come over on Rumble.
Let's build it, baby.
And I don't know, have you done any shares or to do?
I haven't done anything like that yet. I usually do that once you get started with BTC.
All right. So, wow, that shout out all you guys who are watching us. Please hit the like, share button, log in, because we're trying to build. We need to get our followership. It's 170. We need to get it to 200. So we can get you guys to come in and set up a profile. That would help us out a lot. Now let's go into B. Actually, I'll let you do it because you always do it so well.
Anyway, Pedro, before you were, let's say when you were indisposed in the few minutes before the show, my intro included a couple of things that were very interesting. BNB ripped over the weekend, absolutely just ripped, like balls crazy ripped.
Yeah.
And I was saying we haven't seen BNB ripping like this in major strides since the SafeMoon days when everybody was onboarding to crypto. I tried to do some research on why it's pumping other than people just buying it. Like, is there a reason? Did Binance announce some buyback? Did something happen? Didn't come up with anything good. So we're gonna have to let the charts tell us why. Also, I mentioned that Trump was talking today from Scotland. Roiled the effing markets. They were opening everything. Nasdaq's going up nicely. Bitcoin was going up nicely. And then Trump started talking, and that was that. Even though he didn't have any bad news. He announced a new deal with the UK. The EU deal is on track. Everything's going well. And the market, blah. Anyway, it stopped me out of 2 trades this morning. I had 2 setups this morning. One in Nasdaq and one in BTC. Both stopped me out. One for a $5 loss, one for a $6 loss. And took my lumps this morning. But I got to remember, Trump always likes to speak Monday at 10 a.m. So no trading until after 10:30. Where the hell is the pricing thing?
Or if the market is going up, expect it to go down. And if the market is going down, expect it to go up. It's almost like, and we talk about this so many times, right? Whereas like, because look, whether you like Trump or not, whether you think you're pro him if you think he's pro market or against the market, it doesn't matter. Look, traders are going to trade and they're going to use whatever news event. I mean, think about it like this. Every time Powell speaks, we see interest rates move. And he's not even talking about interest rates, but just simply him talking, we see the market move. And so in the same sense, you can correlate Monday mornings, 10 o'clock to if the market's pushing up, Trump's going to come and speak. So if you're seeing a lot of market moving up, but not a lot of demand wicks in the market, expect it to pull back, right? So look at those small subtleties, be able to pay attention. We'll go over to some of that. And we're actually going to go into BTC and then right in, or would you want me to do BNB real quick? And
no, we should start with Bitcoin all the time, then we'll go to BNB.
All righty. All right, guys. So one of the things we want to be paying attention to here is, and we've talked about this now, we are in this sideways pattern motion here. And the sideways pattern is kind of frustrating simply because it's doing what it does. There's nothing I can do about it. And I can't sit there and call up my buddy, Mr. I don't want to call him my buddy. I don't even want to say that. This area here is basically part of, and I'm actually going to remove this push here because this looks weird. We can keep the cool. So one of the things I want to bring up here, and this is super important to understand, is the market, every time we come in, we see a sell-off and we hit liquidity points. What are we seeing? We're seeing major buy-in, right? But is it pushing up? Are we seeing it trying to top off? No. So this is an indication of the market consolidating from a trading standpoint. Now, right now, we're seeing a utility push within crypto. We're seeing anything we can, the utility that has some form of money that is actually a good coin is one of those ones that we're seeing push. And so we know that if Bitcoin is not selling off, better yet to say, if Bitcoin is not selling off, and we're seeing, oh, I forgot my God, I still have my red light therapy stuff on. I'm so sorry. Let me remove that.
And that you just add little special effects to it. While you're at it, pull your camera down a little bit so you're not so tall in the screen, as they say.
All right, cool. Better. All right, sorry about that, guys. It's been a long, it was a long one. I had a long night. And because of that long night, I had a very early, I tried to get
Is your red light still on?
No.
Oh, you just turned it up. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. So one of the things here is you can see if the market on Bitcoin is literally sitting at these levels, one of the things I want to point up, and this is super important, is that it's not selling off. And yes, we're seeing big, more selling volume come in. But when you look at if you go into the actual intra time frames, like 30-minute, 20-minute, you can see that we've got quite a bit of good buyer volume stepping out. Yes, you do have seller volume, but you're also having buyer volume. And every time we see it get low, right? Look at these low marks here. We see it get bought up. Boom, boom, boom. Sell off, buy, right? As soon as it gets down into those lower levels, look, buy. We're not really seeing a lot of seller wicks unless we're at the tops here. But the reality is as we're coming down into these liquidity points, we're seeing buying. And so to me, that indicates that, look, they're building their position for the next leg up. This is what it looks like. I would expect them to really do a big liquidity sweep for stop huntings to see a sell off down to that. I mean, we've already seen it get down to that 114 area that we had talked about last week, but I really think they might do it again so that they can just scare out the the light hands here, drop it down a little bit further, and really hit let me jump in here real quick, that weekly. Come into this weekly area. Now, this is the last part of this month here. And so, no matter what, like if you look at this, it's still going to look good on a monthly chart. Okay. And so this is the last week. And one of the things I always talk about on the last week, if it's been a green month, right, and we've been seeing it push up, and I really thought we were going to hit that 130. We only topped off at the 120 area, or the 124 area. What was it? Excuse me, the 123 area. So it's kind of sad. I'm like, come on, man. But I guess, when we were sitting at the lower part of 107, I guess I could say 120, 130 was a good area. I really thought, though. But they kept it here. They kept it from basically exploding. And so that big portion that you want to see is really the idea that if we see a sell-off, they're only creating, this is really important to understand, the supply wave for the month. Remember, this is a monthly chart here. We're coming up to the end of the month here. We've got 4 more days, right, to the end of the month, because 31 days in July. So so I expect them to kind of come up, and these lower areas right here, you can see you have your monthly 8 still sitting right here. If we look at our weekly 8, our weekly 8 is sitting right here at these liquidity points as well. You can see, I can see them wanting to come back down into that 112, 110 area, pop this, right? Come down, hit that liquidity, and then see it come back up and finish off with a decent supply wave for the month. Because remember, this month they've done really well, right? It went from 104, basically like 104-ish, 107-ish area, all depending on whatever exchange you're using, to like 120. Like that's almost 20% in 1 month. I mean, that's really good for TradFi, right? So they're taking profits. We're seeing these type of things. So this is
good for anyone.
Good point. Yeah. Well, for crypto natives, we get mad if we're barely getting like 50%. So I'm just saying. So it's one of those things that, and you can see here, we're not closing below any lows, right? Like you can see here, what do I always say? If at the beginning of the week we see it go down, we should see it
go up at the end of the week.
Up. Exactly. And so in that same manner, I'm expecting us to see it really kind of push up at these levels. Once we'll come down, I honestly think we're going to come down and tap that weekly 8. I think they want to come down here. Tap it in. Happy get more. Tap it in. Don't you want to go to your home? Anyhow, okay.
It's all right. You gotta watch a new movie, Pedro. There's new lines.
Oh, really? Oh my goodness. Is there a Bob? Like Price is Bob or Price is Wrong, Bob? Anyways,
I'm simply not mentioning anything.
Man, I'm gonna have to re-up my freaking Netflix just to watch it. Dang it! It's gonna cost me $20 this month. No, don't they have a single one? Anyways, I needed to go find out. Okay, so jumping back here, as you can see, we're coming back down into these levels. We might just tap the low area from last week too as well. So these are just some of the areas I want to bring in here. Here's an area from last week. And then let's go ahead. Well, right now, that's not really, we'll play. Let's see here. Excuse me, not last week. Yeah, that was last week, sorry. Right, so we have the last week. And then this week, let's see if we can find. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's really where we're going to see it. Yeah, that's it right there. So the liquidity point, we could see it tap into the lower area right here, that 114, 110, 112 area. So the drop down. Now, the other part I want to bring up is you can see here that we've been playing also off of that 20 period. So that 20 period could also act as well as a support area, a dynamic support area that basically moves like a support area, but it moves around because it's a moving average. So there's that 20 period moving average that we want to be paying attention to here as well, that you could actually probably capture a nice little day trade here. But more importantly, you can see here as I play, this is going to be the orange 20 on the daily. Let me go to make that daily. So this area right here, I'm looking to see if we can tap this. If it taps it, we probably will see a bit of a push off of this. So I'd expect us to play a nice little play off of this. But ultimately, I think we're going to push up. We'll come down to go up. And so I have a couple areas for you guys. One is that 117. The other area right here you could play is the 114. And then the lower areas here of that 112 and 110 is based off of the weekly 8-period moving average. So if we see a sell-off and we see it come down hard, go to your weekly and go look at my little liquidity stop hunt areas here and see if you can take part in some of those trades if we do start to see a sell-off here. So that's it for BTC. But again, I think we'll see a sell-off and then come back up, and then we'll end up roughly about where we're at right now on the month, right there with this nice little play when it comes to BTC. So
Pedro, I think you're right. You're right on that. My newbie chart reading skills didn't come up with the same thing, but I too was thinking. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking it's got 111, 112 written on it before it has 130 written on it. And so I was like, I wonder what Pedro's going to say today. And you kind of said the same thing. So
yeah, that's exactly.
I'm the genius.
You are getting smarter, my friend. You are getting smarter. I wouldn't call myself a genius. That is definitely not.
I got to take some credit for something. It's the fact that I looked at it, and then when you did your chart review thing here, I was like, oh, okay, I'm on the right track. So
yeah, expected
good
to come
enough.
Down first. Good enough. One of the things also I would sit there and say is be paying attention also to a lot of the altcoins, right? What's actually happening is the end of the month, right? End of the month. Anyways, or it's first of the month, sorry. You can see here that like ETH picked up again over the weekend as well. We saw a pop up, hit that 192 area. Like I said, this area right here, that 137 area or 3,700 area would act as some form of resistance, but pay attention to it staying above the 8-period moving average on Ethereum. We've talked about really, I expect us to hit the all-time highs here at that 48, 43 area here. And you can see here that as we're tapping up into this level, right, we should see some pullback here, right? So we're going to come up and hit that and then come back down and then see it most likely kind of do this and then see it get going again. So again, this is playing, everything is playing nicely. And one thing that's so dope is to talk about BTC because not BTC. So dope is BNB. BNB, guys, we've talked about this now for a while. I said, all right, guys, on Friday and Thursday, I said, if we stay above that 8-period moving average over the weekend, expect it to go. And sure enough, guys, look, we saw the demand wicks. We saw the demand wicks into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I said, guys, look, we're seeing demand wicks here. I don't think they're going to sell, even though, again, we talked about on Friday or Thursday, like even these markets here, every time it sells off, we're seeing demand wicks. So I'm expecting it to go up, right? Every time we come down, look, demand wick, demand wick, demand wick. We're not really seeing big supply wicks unless they're at the top here and they're selling off to push it down to go back up. Right. So we were talking about that. And I said, even though we're seeing sellers step in, I'm expecting this to continue higher. And sure enough, that's exactly what we saw. And BNB popped like it's hot and we saw it go. So when I'm looking at this movement here on the daily chart, one of the things I'm always talking about is if we're seeing a pump, right, are they putting in demand wicks? And that's exactly what we're seeing here. We're staying above the moving average. Also, today, like I expect after a huge pump a huge pump like this, right? Where all of a sudden it goes, what's that face? Where it goes literally 100 points. It literally did almost, what was it? Boom, 70. So that would be, come on, Bray.
12%?
15. Yeah, 12 to 15%. Boom. 12 to 15% jump there. So in a weekend, right? Since Friday, look, Friday, Saturday, and it just goes. So expect a pullback from here. Okay, a potential maybe halfway pullback to the 83 area. Let's go ahead and look at the intro time frames here. Boom. Yeah, 11. That's when we saw everything. That's when we saw the Asian market step in. So I like this area right here. And is that, yep, boom. Let's pop like it's hot. All right, so I like this area right here, guys, as a pullback area to get in on BNB. If you want to buy the coin, you can buy the coin. Again, I'm more like the future side of it, so I'm looking more at the future side to be able to play here. Again, this is not financial advice. This is educational and social entertainment purposes only. So please do not take my advice as financial.
Don't take his advice at all.
Yes.
Take his education.
There you go. There you go. I always talk about you, whatever mechanism and whatever indicators you use, make sure you do a thorough background back testing situation here, because this will help you make money by going through and looking at that. Okay, boom. So I like this area right here. So boom, pumping it like it's hot. And this closes there, comes back down, boom. So that's 10, and then that would be 6. Okay, then what would be, this is 10. And what, I'm sorry, I'm calculating something here real quick. 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, while Pedro is doing that, as always, this is an educational video and not financial advice. Nothing herein in this video has been reviewed or approved by any competent authority at all. That is our MICA statement there for you Europeans. And please note that this is an educational video. Pedro and I strive to educate you and entertain you. What you do with your own money is your own fault. As usual, opinions of Pedro and I and other guests of this show do not represent those of DYOR Media and or our sponsors.
Nice. Yes, this is a good zone. I like this zone here. As for intra time frame, I'm looking at this area here for a pullback. So I also like it that the 400 period moving average is sitting in my zone here. So we could potentially see a retracement from that 860 potentially down to that 797 area here. I like it because it's hot. Let's go. And so I like this area right here. One of the things I also say is this area right here, we're just not gonna blindly jump in, right? Like, we're gonna wait until the market proves that it's going to continue up, right? And so one of the things I always talk about, right, is you want to see it get above some. So if it comes down, right, we want to see it get above the 8. So it comes down, puts in some of the demand wicks. We see it go above, right, that 8. And then once we see it start to find support with volume, right, boom, with volume coming in, right, then we can sit there and say, all right, this thing's going up, right? And what do we do? We sit there and go, okay, we put our stop loss right under the local low, which would be right here, and we're looking for a 1-to-1, right? So this is where it would be right here, and then you would sit there. You could get in right here at these lower levels, right, if you wanted to play that, because this is the 15-minute. Actually, let's go to the 5-minute, make it easier for you guys. Alrighty, so you can see it comes down, right? We see it go up, we see volume coming in, but we want to see, more importantly, the holding of the 8. So you can see it comes in and doesn't hold. You see it play. Right here is when we really start to see the holding. We see volume stepping in. We see strength coming in. Right here, we see demand wicks coming in. So we sit there. You can play this or play this. And how we would play is it coming in. We see this buy area right here, right? You can see we're above the 8. We're seeing volume kind of come in over in this area here. Stop goes right here. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're then going to want to get a 1-to-1 ratio, right? So we're going to come right here, and then it comes right here is our low. We want a 1-to-1 ratio. So now we're going to we want to capture from here, this area, we're going to go 1-to-1. It's going to either be right, it's probably right here. We'll just say that right there is the 1-to-1. And then from after this, we take off 70%, right? 60 to 70%. So we have money in our pocket. You don't got to stress if it comes and stops you out, or you can break even with 70%, right? So either a break even trade or a trade that you now have 70%, you walk away, you can go get lunch money with that, right? And so from there, you can either wait for the pullback into our area here and see if it goes up, and obviously it does. But I want to make sure you guys understand that type of trade is what we're looking for, the same type of trade right here that we're looking at with this zone here, right? So I gave you that analogy so that you can understand how to play this zone here. So we want to sit there and wait for it to come down, and we want to see volume step in, and we want to see it get above the 8 period moving average with some demand wicks. And then we're going to then say, all right, that local low, once it creates, we're going to put our stop right here, and then we'll sit there and wait for it to go up. We get in as it is showing strength, and also as it is pushing the market up with demand wicks. As if I'm seeing that, I'm in all day. Then we'll sit there and wait, right? Get my 70% off, and then wait to see if it continues higher. So that's it in a nutshell for that, for BNB's play right here. Okay.
BNB ripping, but in summary, Pedro, you're looking at it to come back to the 757 level or 797 level.
Yep.
And then look for the reversal and have it launch following that.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things you could also do is you can see that we're starting to play off of that hour. Now, if you want to write it down, you can see here that we're pulling up to that 8 and 20 period moving average right here on BNB. And so this area can actually act as a area to be able to write it all the way down. And so as long as we're staying above the 8, or as long as we're staying below the 8 period moving average why are you doing that? Don't be a dish. On the hour here, really important, right? We want to see that 8 stay below so you can capture whatever mechanism you use as a trading mechanism to get in on your short, right? Like you're saying, hey, if it comes up and hits the VWAP line, say short, right? That little area, or if you want to use your Bollinger Bands or whatever mechanism you use to get in on your shorts, as if it's above, if it's pulling above an area, you make sure you have those rules very clear and defined so that you know how to write it all the way back down, and then you can write it back up. So that's it in a nutshell. All righty. Shout out to our people over there. We are staying strong at 1312. Right.
Got to work on your transitions there, Pedro.
Yes, I know.
Hey,
all right, guys.
You got to pick the point where you stop talking and your co-host goes with it. So as I was going to say, thank you everybody on Rumble and all of our people out there that are watching us. Thank you very much. Crypto Mike, yes, we've been tracking your magic beans for a while now. Pedro, in our coin market cap portfolio, we still own these beans that we bought, I don't know, a year or so ago. They're up 4x or something like that since we bought them, or something crazy like that. Whatever, I don't know. They've made some serious money. I don't have my password for CoinGecko or Coin Market Cap anymore. I've got to figure it out, so I can't get to it. I just know that we still have it. Anyway, that's what's called holding and winning over time in trades. And you, as we all know, we can make decent money scalping the market, swing trading, that type of stuff. But you make your biggest money when you put your stuff away and you forget about it and let things 4x, 5x, 10x over time. And you can do it. But anyway, thanks to everybody watching on Rumble. There's nobody no fans here commenting from YouTube. So you YouTubers out there, drop some comments here. We need to get something going here. Let's see here. Let's see if we get. It's not letting me read any ads here. Why not? Come on. We got one here. I gotta wait for it to refresh here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as always, this is the DYOR live show with Pedro and Striking. That's Pedro. I'm Striking, otherwise known as Tom. We're here on the DYOR Media Network, and we're doing well over here on Rumble. We're really trying to crank up our viewership here on Rumble. It's been very good to us. And so if you're watching this, please like, comment, and share it. Sharing's the most important thing. It really gets the word out. If you're already a Rumble subscriber, you can hit the repost button and repost it into your feed, and that shows the algorithm that you love us just a little bit more than you did yesterday. But anyway, Pedro, I think it's time to earn a couple of cents here.
There we go. I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to step away for a minute and let you do it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this sponsorship is from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the future of the company, the future of Rumble. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built a platform, the Rumble platform, for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID. But they did. Facebook admitted they fell to pressure from the Biden and Harris administration. Yeah, we saw Zuckerberg testifying in front of Congress. He's like, "Yep, they asked us, we did it." Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Nope, they don't. I gotta tell you, advertisers, when you do advertising by committee and say, "Oh, we're so worried about this," nobody cares. Play your ads. Everyone gets exposed to them. Unless you're woke, then forget it. We don't want you to watch if you're woke. Watching our show, DYOR Live, here on Rumble is the most that Rumble can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight against censorship and for free speech, if you have the means, one way that you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. The link's down here to do it. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO. Good Lord. Promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and you believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we are just happy if you watch us on Rumble. So there's a QR code right here. Please click it. Go to the Rumble page for the signups. Let our advertisers know that our audience is interactive, ladies and gentlemen. So rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO. Thank you to Rumble for sponsoring this segment of our show. All right, Pedro. I believe I got your mic turned back on. But maybe yours isn't on. Pedro, you there? Hello, Pedro. You're on mute. That's awesome. I love this market here. Crypto. You know, it's interesting.
Hold on, the ad's not completing here. Hitting the button, Rumble, but the ad's not completing. Access denied. You need to be authorized to perform. Oh, this thing's gonna give me this. Does that thing where it logged me out again? No, that's not what I want. Hold on there, Pedro. I'm gonna fix this in 1 second here. Rumble randomly logged you out, and it logged me out in the middle of reading an ad.
I've never been logged out of Rumble.
Well, I shouldn't say Rumble, the main platform. I should say Rumble Studio. It's a little different. But they just randomly log you out. It's like your cookie expires or something, and then it's the second time it's happened during an ad. Anyway, once again, thank you to Rumble Premium for their 14-cent sponsorship of our show.
Appreciate it, guys.
I got to tell you, in 100 years, though, that's going to be worth some fine cake.
Well, if we put that into crypto, it will be.
Right. Put it in a 10,000 Xer.
I love you. Next. Bro, did I tell you how I've literally made up this egg mix here, bro? That is absolutely amazing.
No, you have not. I think you're about to tell me, though.
I am about to tell you. Sorry, guys. It was a late morning, and I've been trying to eat breakfast before our illustrious show here, and good time had by all. But in all honesty, when it comes down to this market and its movement, I'm really noticing that it's not necessarily even like news driven or even like it's really not driven. It's kind of random. There's a lot of randomness to it right now. So I think it's what's interesting is sitting there and really seeing that the crypto is still in the infancy stage.
Right.
It's still like there's not a lot here to really go on. And I absolutely love that because that means that you're not too early. Or excuse me, you're still very
not too
early.
late. Right.
You're not,
right.
Yeah, you're not. But here's the thing: you're not. If you're too early, you'll sit on the trend forever, right? If you're too late, well, you miss a big portion of this move. But the reality is you're not too early and you're not too late here. You're like, I almost feel like this is the perfect time in crypto for people to get in because you're going to be part in this next bull run, right? So you get in at these levels right now. Whatever, it doesn't even matter what coin you get, whatever coin you fall in love with, right? Find some big top coin. And again, it's not financial advice, but you put your money into it and you'll see it grow. And not just like a small 5%. I mean, exponentially. You'll see X's. You'll see 400, 500, 600% over the next few years because the institutions are involved. We're also seeing a lot of legislation happening. And so right now, this is right before everybody and their grandma gets involved, right? And so this moment in time, it's almost like a sweet period of just being like, it's like before the 1980s, it's like 81, 80, before the market took off in the 1980s and we saw a 20-year explosion within the S&P 500. I feel this is that moment, I feel like, in history where it's like, it is this up and down moment in crypto, but now we're seeing it really take off. And the part that I love about it the most is that you're not too early. You're not time in crypto where you can take advantage of the markets. And you don't even need to, like, you literally just go and buy. It's almost like when, the Nasdaq. Yes, I am. Sorry about that. And so I think what's interesting here is that little push in this market of it doesn't need much, right? And all the fundamentals are kind of getting established here. So it's not muddied up that much. It's getting complicated, but it's not that complicated because at every bear market, we see a sell-off, and every bull market, we see a push up. And you can almost time it. Whereas in the stock market, it's kind of hard right now, right? To sit there and say, we're so far up, but you're like, is this the end? In crypto, it's pretty open. It's kind of a open, cut and open. What is the word I'm trying to say? A open and shut story. That was so hard to say. Wow.
That one was so easy. I didn't even think you were missing that one.
Yeah, I really was. I was like, why is that not coming to my mind? Open and shut story case here is that every 4 years you have a halvening. And so we know that there's a sell-off after the halvening, and then we're in the bear market for a few years, and then it starts to climb out, and we start to see it, it consolidates, and then it starts to go back up. Last year was the first real bull bear run I was fully in. This is my first bull run here, but I've analyzed the charts enough to know that, yeah, this is kind of intrinsic within crypto. And so it's kind of cool to sit there and be able to deploy your cash in a bear market. And sit there and say, whereas like in traditional finance, you sit there and you're like, man, we're in this 60% or 30% bear market. This is a bad market. And in crypto, we're like, it's only down 20%. Let's buy some more. You're like, it's funny. And so this actually enables a lot of Generation Xers, Generation Yers, even Zers, man. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see as alpha comes into the age. I see these 17-year-olds, which was really interesting. I have a little guy, 17, about to be 18, got him into coding and starting to get him going and showing him how he can create some trading bots so that he can play around with the markets and stuff like that. I'll give him a little cash so that I see what he can do and get done. But it's amazing. His brain is already starting to get wrapped around this stuff and the ideas that he's bringing up. I'm like, oh, wow, that's a really good idea. Like seeing him really just talk about those small details and having him understand. And I feel like Generation Alpha is like, they're almost primed for crypto. I mean, just the reality is like, they don't trust the government. They don't trust you. Like they're like jaded, is your son Alpha or is he Generation?
He doesn't trust the government. He grew up on all that misinformation. There's the
COVID dog.
The group of people that actually controls everything, and big companies like Target are bad. And I'm like, Target is just Target. There's no evil empire behind Target. Oh, they're out to take everything. I'm like, and you hear that when you talk to their friends. You hear that undertone of kind of 70s anti-establishment type stuff. Yeah. And I said, look, I told him, I said, look, you need to temper that. I said, first of all, when you get older, it's going to go away. I said, it's likely go away. With most people, it goes away when you realize that you were wrong. You're like, oh, I was wrong. And I said, but really what you need to do instead of complaining about it is whatever you think is wrong in the world, learn how to take advantage of it and use it to your betterment. If you really think evil companies are controlling the world, start your own company and beat them at their game and be good. He's like, oh. Yes. But evil wins. I said, not all the time, my friend. I said, Amazon won, Microsoft won. He goes, they're evil. I'm like, no, they're not evil. I said, Amazon employs 1 million people. Microsoft employs 640,000 people. So they contribute more to the economy than most small businesses combined. I said,
they contribute to his college fund that he gets this thing called FAFSA because they pay taxes that go into that. Just throwing that out there.
I had this argument with another one of these losers online that's like, oh, all these billionaires are not worth it. We should take all their money and triple tax them. And I always have this great argument. I say, okay, how much tax did Amazon pay? Well, I don't know. Big companies don't pay any tax. I said, do you know? Because this is a Social Security discussion.
You're gonna get
because they're like wealthy people don't contribute. Wealthy companies don't contribute to Social Security because there's a cap on it. I said, Amazon employs 1 million people. Do you know the average wage of 1 million people contributing to the Social Security Trust Fund per year is? $8.04 billion. Jeff Bezos himself has caused $8.04 billion to be deposited in the Social Security Trust every year. Now, that's also, I believe the number is $2.8 billion in Medicare taxes. I can't remember exactly, but that's roughly what it is. And so, the fact, and that's not all the other tax. They pay payroll tax, income tax, property tax, sales tax. All these taxes is 1 million people pay.
Yeah. And
they're like, oh, and I had that same discussion with my son a while ago too. I was like, all right, when you think something's wrong, look at the big picture. When you look at the big picture of companies like Amazon and Microsoft, the influence on our economy is so massive that taxing them to death and disincentivizing their owners from deploying their capital in similar situations. And it's my personal opinion is that people that start companies that employ 1 million people should pay no tax. As long as they reinvest their money into their company, that's tax-free.
I actually would like you to see it actually invested into local charities. I think because we've actually sat there and looked at, like, again, I'm not fully for all charities, right? Because there's definitely been people taking advantage of it. But I think companies are much more efficient at deploying monies, right, earned into the economy than our government. We've seen this now over the last. I mean, they're much more efficient. And so part of me almost feels like there should be like a organization that is ran by the majority of the corporate entities that's saying, if you are a good person who knows how to deploy into their local municipalities, that money should go to you. And there should be auditors that come in that really go over much more than just government auditors, right? And that really go through, because again, a lot of government auditors can be bought up, and we've seen this in many municipalities and local governments. And so, I mean, just ask Tom in Chicago, right? And so I feel
how you's doing, huh?
Yeah, you's doing. But here's the thing: you can go through, and you can deploy that. And if you have a good structure there, and again, this all has to do with local entities, we would see a greater increase in just education, because a lot of people, like a lot of inner city schools literally don't have the funding for after school programs. And part of me is almost like, well, in the past, it was individuals and organizations, nonprofits that actually stepped in and really helped through orphanages, through other organization educational programs that you could go through and relearn and grow, right? And those have actually kind of bled away from a lot of the inner city schools because of the primary issue of the government really stepping in and saying, no, this is our job. And the truth is, it's actually never been your job. It actually needs to be individual people in the local area really step in. And if they can get funded by large corporate entities to sit there and say, you're doing a great job, you know what? Here you go.
That actually happens here in Chicago, Pedro. Microsoft has contributed many millions of dollars to the STEM programs in the schools here, specifically focusing on non-magnet, non-charter schools that are already well-funded. And Boeing Company has done the same. All companies that are interested in ensuring that the students come out with an education so they can be involved in math and science and that type of stuff. And there's a big effort. In fact, they have they don't just individually, Microsoft doesn't just give a check to the Chicago school system because it'll just go away. What they do is they have a foundation that they fund that deploys the capital for them so that the city can't just take the money and absorb it into $400,000 salaries for superintendents, and it works very well. And the problem, and not only that, but in the neighborhoods where you have active parents, meaning parents that care or parents that are part of the child's life, those schools do even better because the parents raise matching funds, and they have bake sales, and you name it. And those schools do well. And of course, there's a pushback because the inner city schools that don't have active parents, nobody's contributing or matching the funds that come from other people. And nobody cares when the school, in the school my daughter went to, in elementary school, if a teacher effed up, the parents were out there with pitchforks. They were like, we'll have none of this behavior. Or if they were like the budget was wrong, the parents are in at the city councilman's office saying, why are teachers buying pencils and pens with their own money? That's not right. Fix it right now or we're not going to vote for you. And then the guy would fix it. And in the inner city neighborhoods, of course, that doesn't happen. They just get blathered and stuff like that.
Most because they're working two jobs. And unfortunately, what's sad is this, and this is where this is the breakdown. The lack of fatherhood in inner city projects or inner city communities that struggle is literally the lack of fathers, right? Like, and this breaks my heart, right? Because I mean, this is partly my history, and we're not going to go down there. But the idea is that the government system doesn't really allow for a secondary person to help with. So like, I would actually be cool with if the father could be in, not just in the child's life, but in the home, and then let them receive some form of monies, right? i.e. welfare. And then the mother might be able to stay at home, work part-time, work, while at the same time staying home. So when her child comes home and he's complaining about this, and she can sit there and say, wait, what? And then you could gradually see a build up of that inner city organization. And so again, if you could actually bring in the welfare system a father, and then as he's bringing in money and the mother kind of decreases, there could be fairly, because here's the thing, no matter what, you're still going to have a degradation of a society if it cannot sit there and bring in the other side of the race, or excuse me, not race, gender population. And I know that's a huge fighting thing and people are not going to like this, but the reality is this, is that it is important to have a father or somebody who is strong. And we've seen this in statistics. The father, that strong masculine energy who says to his child, I know you're hurting. I know things are really bad, but get up and fight. Come on. And you need to use your brains, not your hands, right? That whole entire thing that happened with, I love that scene in Braveheart. Remember when his father dies and his uncle comes in? He goes, I want to learn how to fight. And he goes, yeah, but you first use this, right? And I think in inner city, in the projects and inner city why am I having such a hard time with that? Urban areas, that's the word I want to use. Urban areas where we see a lot of gang violence. It could easily be, I mean, within 10 years, 15 years, be completely eliminated. And we could see our jails drop like literally by half, if not 80%. 80% of half, if you literally allow, and this is in Detroit, and we've seen this now in Detroit, with their new president, or not new, the new mayor, within basically 3 years. Go look at, it's actually astronomical. But what he did, he just allowed men to come in and build up the kids, saying, you don't need to use pow-pows. You can literally use this to get ahead. And it's changing a lot of things. So I think if we do more of that, in addition to aiding for education, dude, it would be phenomenal. It would be great. We'd see the jails empty. We see much more productive citizens, and allow people to really grow as a society in business and entrepreneurship. So I'm sorry, I just totally digress. Let's go ahead and move back to crypto. And what is our topic again today? Go ahead.
Monday markets for day traders. Bitcoin, crude, copper, Nasdaq, all the usual stuff.
All right, so let's go ahead and go over some of those stuff here real quick. Also, any cool news events that you could bring up?
Yeah, the one that I wanted to bring up here is well, there's two. One is on the fund side. Pump funds revenue plummets as meme coin traders tap other launch pads. We talked about this a lot last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess, in talking about people moving to other launch platforms. The fight between Solana and Radium, Pump Fund and Radium, just getting messy, and basically Pump Fund making a mistake by trying to capture that last little bit of revenue of putting up their own swap and saying, "Oh, we can do this now." they cut out one of the biggest players. So the biggest player said, oh, well, we can make our own pump fund. And they did. Now they've stolen much of pump fund's business along with everybody else, too. It was good while they lasted. We all knew that this kind of meme coin flash in the pan thing was going to come and go. Like all things in fads and crypto, it came and went. And other websites are catching up to them. So that was an interesting story. The other one, kind of more important to what's going on in the news here lately, is with Tether. And Tether, as we all know from the Genius Act, it doesn't qualify for to be a U.S. stablecoin. And the reason is they wrote the Genius Act to say stablecoins that operate in the U.S. have to be backed by liquid assets other than Bitcoin and gold. They just, they ruled those things out, and I believe they ruled them out to eliminate Tether from just coming in and immediately dominating the market. And the USDC lobbyists probably got those things put in there. However, Tether came out and said, okay, we're going to establish our own U.S. stablecoin that meets all the regulations. And people are, oh, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. You can't have backing. Tether has almost $200 billion in assets now. Do you know how easy it would be for them just to peel off $50 billion in U.S. backed bonds, backed by U.S. bonds and/or cash? Move it over to the U.S. and start up a stable coin and call it USDH or something, or USDTH, whatever. They could do it tomorrow, and they probably have thought about, oh, let's just do it tomorrow. And then the CEO wisely said, wait a minute. Let's set a long checklist of things to do, to go through, to make sure when it shows up, every regulator is like, well, thanks for doing it correctly. We really appreciate you following the law. See, us regulators are great. We did a great job. Congress is great. Now everyone complies with our law. And all Tether has to do is just move $50 billion from one place to another. Trump gets to announce Tether invests $50 billion in the U.S.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a shell game. But it's a good shell game because Tether is the gorilla in the room as far as stable coins. Can they be unseated as the top stable coin in the game? Of course they can. Everyone and anything gets unseated eventually. But the U.S. market is going to shape up here really quickly, and people are not going to see it coming, how stable coins change the market. And change the way people interact with money and payments and all that. So this is something important to watch, everyone.
We talked about this actually 2.5 years ago, when Biden was in the industry, in the market, and China was selling off. This was when was this? This started actually last summer. We really, towards actually around February, March, I really started talking about this because I was like, we're going to see, somebody needs to step in. And this is when was USD, was it DC or DT, that was called into question for a one-to-one backing and their credibility for actual reserve.
Both of them were at one point were called in.
That's when I sat there and I said, I expect them to start buying a ton of treasury, and they will become the primary, crypto will become the holder of last resort of treasuries and or other assets, because there's so much money that can be generated in it. And it's not, and this is key, it is not centralized to a few on top, but it is pushed out to everybody who holds that community coin or that coin. And so you receive a benefit from that. And when that happens, then they go out and they buy more. And so it is an exponential growth. And we talked about this back then. And this is before Biden was still in office. Biden was still talking. Gary Gensler was howling out horrible flames against crypto. And I said, there's no way. Crypto is got to become because it's ran by the people. And I hate to say it, is you're not going to get your average Joe to buy a U.S. Treasury bond. You're just not
going to happen.
But guess what? He will go out and buy Tether once he understands how he can take advantage of the market. And by him going out, just this idea of getting $2 or $3 in Tether, right? is you can deploy that into other things. Well, if I take 2 or 3 US dollars, fiat dollars, I'm not buying treasury bonds with that. But guess what? When I buy Tether, I buy treasury bonds. And so as we see stablecoins even proliferate in a prolific manner, just increase exponential over the next 15, 20 years, they will have to be backed by something. And we will see another organization that will come out. Again, I guess I'm talking, and I do this often, right? I don't mean to do this, but this is the next level. This would be the next level that we see happen. You can't get behind this. You will see a next organization that will come up. They haven't been created yet, but they will come in and they're going to establish a collateralization like options that you can actually make money, even more money on top of that. They will collateralize USDC in a sense where the average individual, not only will I be able to make money on just staking or whatever, but I can then take it to loan and I can make money on the loan and basically be like a small banking system. We don't have that yet.
Pedro's Treasury.
Yeah. But this is what's going to happen because that's the next level. And again, it will back the actual centralization of the U.S. economy. It just will. And every country will have this. They will allow it because, again, that's revenue coming in that will allow them to be able to, again, expand and move. And it's just, I think it'll be beautiful. Actually, it won't be beautiful, but it's just the next evolution of what we see. Sorry, beautiful. Guys. Again,
beautiful.
Let's go ahead here real quick.
Bitcoin dropping a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen, coming down into the 117.8 area. Everyone's kind of predicting, including the man in the box next to me. He's coming down a little bit further, probably. Might go up a little bit, then go down and wiggle around a little bit. But hopefully we all see this do a nice little pullback. And one of the reasons I hope for that is I took out a little short earlier, Pedro.
Ooh, talk to me, Goose.
I'm up $2.
That's what I'm talking about. Tell me percentage. What are you up percentage-wise?
Hold on, I got to get that screen back. I'm sure it's quite low. Oh wait, no, percentage. I'm probably pretty high because it's not a big trade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where is it?
I'm all about percentages. I don't care how much money you make. Tell me from a percentage because that lets me know really that you're growing as an individual. You understand the market.
The thunderstorms just opened up here. Oh God, great. Well, the market reversed. Now I'm only up 1%.
Oh, good. It's actually going down. I'm seeing it right here.
No, I mean, yeah. Oh, wait, my chart is up. I'm up 5%. 5%.
Okay. Yeah.
4.96.
Nice. So that means you got up right when you had that pull back into that 8?
Yes.
Got you. Okay, smart. I like it. Thomas is doing it. I love it. Sorry. I look forward to when Tom can sit there and say, I now have $1 million cash money. And it will happen. This man is following rules. He is systematically trading in a way that he's actually growing and maturing in his trades. And that is really what matters is he analyzes his opportunity to learn when it doesn't go against him. Right. And he doesn't see it as, dang it stopped me out. It's like, okay, what can I learn? What did I miss here that I should have picked up? And that's important as a trader, is it's just make sure you're calculating everything. So with that said, let's check out a few other these coins and where I think the traders are going to try to take the markets at. So let's check out the US dollar here real quick because we've been talking about this US dollar trade here and it moving up and coming down into our levels here. And so we saw the pullback into the liquidity area on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, where we saw it come down. It was Thursday, boom, from Technical Tuesday. We had talked about that. And again, now we saw they pull back where the liquidity point is. And you can go back, I think it was, when was it Tuesday that we went over the US dollar of it pulling back? So the market was coming down. So I put this stuff here on Tuesday. You can check it out. Saw the pullback and then to see the explosion up. We talked about this level here acting as some form of resistance. I'm actually going to now pull it away. And I expected now to see the US dollar now come back up to that $99 area. Remember, this trade we talked about coming up to that 104, 103 area as what, and again, I brought this up because of what? The tariff news that was coming out. And I said, as we start to see the tariffs finally find stability and we start seeing US markets, right, get up going again, we start seeing other nations start trading with us, we will see an increase in the dollar. Why? Because they have to hold US dollars for them to trade as a equal medium between other nations. And America kind of, because we are the primary buyers of goods and services around the world, this is a huge portion and contention between us and them. Like, we buy your goods and you're screwing us over. Stop that junk is what Trump's trying to do. And so as that stopping of that junk, and that is a technical word, we will see them, they will need to buy dollars. So that's why I said, all right, guys, it came down into our area here, expected to continue start to go up. And so we're looking for that 103, 104 area. I don't know if it's going to go all the way up there, but we're long around these lower levels of that 96 area. And we're seeing a 2-point increase on the US dollar. So shout out to those guys who got that trade. Let's check out real quick the S&P 500. S&P 500 had a bit of a gap up over on Sunday for the Sunday futures. It was really important to understand this aspect here. As we gapped up, it gapped up because of what happened, because of the European, why is that so hard to remember? European Union tariff deal that was actually created. I did say on LinkedIn, somebody posted about it. I said, the only issue that I have here is this over a period of 4 or 5 years, which is negligible, or if this is a yearly deal that is being created by Europe. And on the back end, I'm a little nervous with Europe and the UK really making deals with buying our government made weapons. They have a huge Islamic culture that's growing, and it's very conservative and very It has that balance of Shia and Sunni balance. But that was so hard for me to sit there and say Shia, because my brain kept wanting to say Sufi, and I'm like, no, it's not Sufi. Stop, brain. And so it was literally, anyways, that was an eternity of struggle there for myself. But so Shia and Sunni. And so this is where it's kind of scary, because as they're buying, and we keep seeing a proliferation of that mindset in Europe, it makes me a little nervous that they're buying our military weaponry, because it could be used against us. So it's like this, it's this love-hate. I know we need it, but then at the same time, do we give away the baby with the bathwater? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
well, Europe has come into a realization that they really screwed the effing chicken by letting everybody in like Canada did, in the same way the U.S. did under the Biden administration. And they're putting the brakes on it. It's, for some reason, it's very difficult for the UK to do it, even though they left the European Union. All my friends over say, we're voting for it, so Brussels can't tell us we have to let all these people immigrate here. And then they leave, and they actually let more people in per year now into the UK. And so, and not only that, well, I'm not going to get into the other countries, but it's a disaster over there. But to say their militaries are still very professional. And it's safe to say that the role of countries like Poland, which just says, no,
yes,
we're not having these idiots in our country. That's why the ambassador from Poland said, we don't have any terrorism in Poland, because we don't let them in. And then there's a video going around showing people like cutting the fence on their border with Germany. And they just immediately come up with guns drawn saying, out. And they just push them out through the fence, tied up the fence. They say, get out. And so I don't think it's going to be so much of a problem in other countries or in Europe going forward. I think they've finally seen the light and said this has been a tragic mistake. We need to fix this, just as we did here in the U.S. And we have almost zero illegal immigration now. Almost, it's approaching zero, which is unheard of. Like the border patrol guys sit around now like we didn't see anyone today. He said we should just guide them into school buses. Just school bus, just go. And now it's like an empty border. So I think Europe needs to come to that conclusion. They need to do the same thing. And you can't take everybody. Taking everybody into your country. All it does is give people the fish. They don't teach them to fish. You got to give people the tools in their own country to learn how to fish, and stuff like that. And I mean, obviously, there are always cases of when there's like some crazy dictator that's just walking around shooting everybody. That's different. But then it's up to the militaries of the world. So you can't do that. We're not going to let you do that and take care of that problem. And not just say, oh, everyone from the Congo can come to London, or everyone from Syria can now come to Dublin, Ireland. Dublin's a disaster, total fucking disaster. And I'm not gonna go on.
Well, but my biggest thing is I'm kind of struggling with this idea of us really giving a lot of our military goods, selling it to and again, it's not even if we had a bunch of Sufi and a bunch of Sunnis, I'm cool with that. Like those guys are much more moderate, and they kind of want to embrace the Western, not fully, but I mean they have a much more liberal society compared to the Shiite Sunni, or excuse me, the Shiite society. And again, I'm speaking very general terms here, right?
Algorithm death.
Yeah, we're dying there. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so you can see here that the jump in the S&P 500 here was literally the jump was based off of what we saw with the finalization of the markets or of the tariffs with Europe. So we saw the huge gap. Of course, they're going to sell it off, right? And then they're going to find liquidity. So really my liquidity point here that I'm looking at for the S&P 500 is really sitting around, give me 1 second. There you are. I read it. You can see right here, it's going to be that 63.91. As we pull back into this level, we should see it. We'll probably finish around here today, down around that 6,400. And then tomorrow we'll see maybe a consolidation and then see it drop and then see it pick back up again towards the end of the week. So that's what I'm looking at for the S&P 500. Let's check out also some of the news. Did you go over news?
Yeah, I did 2 articles just a minute ago, remember?
Oh, no, not news. I'm sorry. The economic news coming out for this week.
Yeah, when before you were on, I had mentioned talking about non-farm payroll and Jerome Powell speaking at some point.
Yep. CB, also consumer confidence report is going to be coming out on Tuesday. So that's going to be around 7 o'clock or 10 o'clock East Coast Standard Time. You have the jobs, or you have the JOLTS report also coming out on that same time. So be wary for those news that could be coming out. I'm going to be really interested to see what actually comes out with that, and see how they. I'm really, anyways, we'll go into that as we move forward. In addition to that, on Wednesday, you actually have price index coming out, inflation. We're going to find out what's happening there. We have crude oil always on Wednesday. So if you're trading crude oil, just be mindful around 10:30, you're going to have the release. But if you trade it, you know that. Pay attention to that. Then you have the Fed interest rate decision coming out. That's going to be 11 o'clock again on Wednesday. So be ready. Actually, it's going to be 2 o'clock. Excuse me, 2 o'clock on. I have this set to West Coast time, so forgive me. I keep flipping it. So that's going to be 2 o'clock. And then Thursday, watching what happens here with the jobless claims. That's going to be one of those things that's going to be major news. And then to finish off the week, we're going to be going over hourly earnings. This has been really an important thing of lately, literally, plus the isms, because we're watching a lot of employers saying, look, I can't, with inflation, everything going up, I've got to buy goods and services, plus my employees, I want to keep my employees, but I can't buy goods and services to keep my employees so I can sell. So we've been watching some of our hourly wages. It's been interesting. So we're going to be paying attention to that. And then on Friday, you have non-farm payroll, or excuse me. Why is that? Did it go non-farm? Hourly, boom. Where are you at non-farm? I just saw you here a second. Isms. Basically, Friday you have non-farm. That's going to be coming out as well. Here we go. Private non-farm payroll. So this is another one I like to look at for myself. It helps me out. And then unemployment rate and everything that correlates with that. So this week is a big week. Be mindful. It's going to be a fun weekend as we see things really push up and drop. And it's going to be a topsy-turvy. Just make sure you're paying attention. If it's pushing up with not a lot of demand wicks, just understand that we'll probably see it drop. If the market is dropping and we don't see a lot of supply wicks, it will most likely reverse and go back up. So be mindful of that when you're trading these things. Crypto, because of the interplay now between it, we should see a lot of topsy-turvy ups and downs again within crypto because it's kind of one and the same. Crude oil, you guys can see here, it's still kind of basing in this level here of that 66. I think they're going to drop it back down to this lower of 61 to potentially 60 area here, just simply because we're seeing a drop in volume in the buyers. And you can see the sellers are kind of increasing. So I think they're going to drop it down to these lower rates here. And then we'll see kind of ping pong off of the level of 66 to 60 area. And I think that will keep Trump happy and also keep people making pretty good money in the markets.
Yeah, they can't let it get too low because then they reach the point when it's not profitable for the smaller guys to drill. And the smaller guys, while the big companies control the momentum of the market, the smaller guys are the ones that do all the work.
Yeah. So we got to keep them happy. So there's little things like that when it comes to this. Also, when we're looking at some of the plays you can play, we're going to go over that on Technical Tuesday. So please come tomorrow. We're going to be going over, and I'm going to go over some. Oh, wow.
Squirrel.
Yeah, actually, give me 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro follows off his ADD. Thanks to everyone that's watching us on Rumble. As always, for those of you watching it on your smart TVs, please, you probably don't have an account if you're watching on your smart TV or via any of the other streaming platforms. Go to your phone. Go to rumble.com. Open up an account. You don't need to pay for one. You can sign up for premium for no ads and all that type of stuff and use our code STUDIO in order to get $10 off. But more along the lines, you can sign up, get an account, hit like, hit repost, hit share, and comment. All that does is not inflate our egos like, oh, we've got more people doing that. What it does is it shows Rumble, hey, this is a good show. We should put this in front of more eyeballs. It really helps us out, especially when people follow us, all that type of stuff. It's good. Every time I beg, plead, and grovel, usually a couple of people follow us and stay with us for the long haul. So all of you, please do that. Share it in your trading groups. Share it in your book club. And when you go out and play bridge with your grandma, please share it with everybody that would likely click the share button and come in and join our show and ask questions. Remember, this is interactive shows here. Feel free to ask some questions. Figure it out.
Yeah, I just saw something and I just realized, boom. Obviously, my community just popped something and I just realized that. And so I just needed to pop this in. Give me one more. Also, can you guys also ask them, if you guys are watching and you guys really like what we're doing, Tom doesn't know this, so this is bringing him kind of left field here. He might get mad. But it's another community I just learned about, the arena community over, I believe, on AVAX. And so we might start doing some stuff over there. And because I've kind of been connecting with a few people over there and realizing like, oh, dude, that's a big deal. We could have some fun there. So if you've been messing around with the AVAX arena area, shout out to you guys. Looking to maybe play and partake in some of those events there. I might even just sing a little diddly over there so y'all can, so the ears can bleed and clean out with all the earwax. But anyways, go ahead. I'll take over, Tom, and I'll be back in just a second.
Avalanche. Speaking of Avalanche, it's at $25 right now. I don't know what happened. My up and down arrow disappeared. Why did my up and down arrow disappear here? Anyway, as I was saying, you don't need to sign up for an account here. You can just go ahead on Rumble and... I'm sorry, you don't need to pay. You need to sign up for an account because it helps us out. Helps us out, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin has been... I've been wanting it to dump as I've been short here. Got a new little graphic up here showing that it refreshes better than the other one. After getting called out on the carpet by a viewer last week saying, hey, your numbers are old on the screen. So I fixed one of them, the scroller bar below me. I still need to manually update. It used to update, but for some reason you know what? I may have been... I know why. I think I know why it doesn't update anymore. I think I blocked Java from working properly on that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for putting up with our hiccups in the studio here. Anyway, I'm going to turn Pedro's camera off there while he's doing
Actually, I'm coming back right now. All right. So
you're sitting there typing like this, like...
Oh, I look like a weird... Yeah, you know what's funny is my face, when you meet me, like, I have the resting punchy in the face, which is basically, or the mass murder like face, where it's like, this is my resting face. And when I'm concentrating, it's like this.
Yeah, that's what we were just getting. That's why I put it
so
on the
it
screen.
literally, so either it look like I'm gonna murder you, or I am just like special
on the crapper. That's what it looked like. I was like, if it had the echo sound, I would have been like, Pedro, are you broadcasting from the crapper again? You're like, no, it's my kitchen. Right. Mm-hmm.
It really is my kitchen, though, man. All right, so let's go ahead here real quick. You guys can sit there and see this. Crude oil, or we already did crude oil. What was the other one? What was the other one you want? BTC, crude oil, gold. It was gold real quick. And we're going to go over a lot of this stuff here later this week in detail. So please come for Technical Tuesday. It will be fun. Gold is selling off. We saw a little spike up. I thought... I knew, like I was like, they're playing with people's hearts here right now. This is them just topping off. And you can see here, we're seeing a sell off. So we talked about hitting that 23 area. I did give us a new target, which is going to be that 38 or 3,800 area. This is, again, this all depends on, I didn't think we were going to have the markets respond this way per se, but in relationship to the Trump tariff stuff. But what's nice about it is we are watching a nice little pullback here into gold. I would love to see it come back. This didn't play as I thought exactly, but I thought we would come up here and then pull back, but we didn't. We basically pushed up here, and the reason why I said I thought we were going to go up because we saw the increase in volume at these levels here, but dude, you talking about rope-a-dope right here, Doc. Look at that. And they just came in and dropped it. So they just basically sucker people in, and then they just dropped it. So I'm looking at this few other areas, which is going to be that.
If you kind of zoom out a little bit from that, Pedro, it kind of looks like it's consolidating in a kind of a jumpy bear flag type thing. Just, it's not really going up. It's not trending up. It's not trending down. It is moving. You know, it's not like it's not of interest to traders. There's plenty of trading going on in there. But it seems like it's consolidating for a while. Waiting for some event to either rip or dump. Because for sure it's going to go up or down. We know that. But until it does, until something else seems to want to happen, you're not going to get any more of these ripper weeks here. It just goes rip, 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 rip.
How was that one more time?
Rip, 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 rip. Kind of like when you're running to the bathroom and farting. Rip, 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 rip. Hey, I got to keep everyone entertained here today. I'm a little light on content.
All right. Also, let's go ahead and go into this last little area here. Was it Doge? No, it wasn't Doge. Boom. Nope. Well, we'll just go right into this part here real quick. So everybody knows that I really like Crow. I like what they're doing for the ecosystem. Crow found support at these levels. Look at this here. We came down, hit that 8-period moving average, and it just went. So it literally went from 11 cents to 14 cents. Now, I know you're like, that's not that big of a deal, Pedro. Well, when I consider the fact that it did that on like low volume, that means that there is something rumbling here, because you can see that we had major sell volume come in today comparatively to the previous times. And you can see it's not really stepping in. We didn't go below the low. We came and they literally, like you can see, this market here. We came right here and we bounced off. So to me, they might come down into that 8-period moving average here and then see it continue up. So that pullback on Crow, I expected. You could play Crow on a lot of the future exchanges. So this is one of those ones you guys could be looking to play. But overall, I'm really, really liking this this bull run, or not this bull run, but this push up here. And because it makes it simple for them to pull back and then to continue higher. So I'm kind of excited about this. I think there is something that is happening here that we don't know. If you could pull up any information on Crow and kind of see why we're seeing it grow here, or if this is simply some hidden stuff going on that we just don't know, some secret squirrel stuff that we need to be paying attention to, right? All right.
I know where my arrows went. Something got all jacked up here with the great graphics machine. The decimal places are off. What has happened here today, Pedro? It's just tragic.
It's tragic. The horror.
The horror.
Horror. That was always a hard word for me to say. Horror. Because I would say the horror. And they'd be like, no, the horror. And you're like, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the horror. And then they're like, no, the horror. You got to put an extra syllable there. You got to put that And so, yeah, that wasn't a really, like I said, special ed, baby, 100%. Special ed unite. Let's go. Small bus runners unite. Let's go. Yo, I would never have thought in a million years as a kid, I would ever as an adult sit there and be like proud of the small bus people. We unite, we coming up. Let's go. Special ed. Anyways, enough of my crazy antics here. Okay, so I don't know if I was looking. Again, this morning was a little crazy for me this morning. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, let's jump back here real quick. That's what it was. I should have wrote that note down. It was XRP. So XRP did pop up here. Like we saw, XRP is finding resistance here on that 8-period moving average. And you can see here, though, that at the beginning of the week, one of the things I always talk about is if it goes down on Sunday or Sunday and Monday, right, as we see, a lot of times I'm expecting it to go up. So it's one of the things I'm looking. I am so sorry. What is
What the hell is going on here?
Additional, before we met, I would love for you and Tom to really.
What are you reading on the air? You're reading your emails on the air. I
am so sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and move here real quick. We're seeing the actual market here kind of sell off here. I'm expecting us to see it really kind of come down into this lower level here for XRP, and then kind of go from here as we start to move down. I'm really expecting us to play off of this, that 266 area. If we come down, they should act as a major support level here to see it kind of go up. So I really expect that, which is going to be really nice. All right. Boom. If you don't mind taking over, Tom, real quick, I gotta talk to this here real quick. All right, thank you. You can actually take me off for now, real quick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
My Patreons.
Oh, your mic's on and you're reading it. Let me mute you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, go over where I am in trading. I took all of last week off in trading. I didn't trade at all. In fact, I spent a couple of days without even looking at the charts. If many of you recall, I was on, not on vacation, but I was up in Wisconsin at the Oshkosh Air Show with my son, and we were up there helping him look for work. It's a big, great place. All the plane manufacturers there, all the parts and suppliers are there, all this type of people are there, so we spent a lot of time there. There was no time for me to do it. I did broadcast shows from there, but that broadcasting a show is one mindset, trading is another. And so if you're going to be trading, unless you put on to go in the morning and put on an order with a stop and a take profit and you just forget about it, you got to pay attention. And so I wasn't able to do that last week. Took the week off, got back into it last night, analyzing the markets, and coming out this morning saying, all right, I'm ready for the week. Two of my models popped right up this morning. I talk about the ones I've learned watching the Crypto Lifer show, and then kind of finessed by Pedro, and that is when Bitcoin is coming back up into the 200 period moving average on the 1 minute chart, and crosses it and closes above it, and then the 8 period also does that, and then it's reinforced by the 21 period or 20 period, whichever you use. And both that setup happened on Bitcoin right at about 8 a.m. this morning today, and it happened on the Nasdaq too. Actually, it happened a little later. It happened at like 9:30 or so. And I was like, great, these are both going to go. They both look like they had the strength and the momentum and the trend, and everything looked like they were going to go up, and I was going to make a little bit of money on this trades. And then Donald Trump started speaking, and both of them turned down immediately. Literally immediately, and I thought, oh my God, why are they both going down? Saw over here on this on the TV over my shoulder here. Trump popped up, and all of a sudden he was talking, and I was like, oh my God, more bad news, more huge tariffs against China. No, I tuned in. He was having a good conversation with the Prime Minister of the UK, whose name I can't pronounce properly, Keir something. And that they are announcing the trade deal between the U.S. and the U.K. is going through. Trade deal between the U.S. and the EU is going to be going through, pending in doom or something like that. And all was good. And the market still tanked. And stopped me out of both my trades. It's the first time that's happened since I started on this run that I put two trades together at the same time, which is very rare. And they both get stopped out. I was like, come on, man. Come on, man. That is a little bit much. But it happened. And so I took my licks. And fortunately, I didn't lose much money on it. I'm still trading very little bit amounts of money. And I waited for to hear what Pedro has to say. And Pedro said, look, the market's coming down here. And be ready for it. So during the show, I got in a little short trade. And let's tune in and see where I am with that. I'm up $18 right now, ladies and gentlemen. 11% on the trade. So I'm up 11%. My goal is on every trade is obviously to be profitable. And as Pedro says, make a 1-to-1. When you put in, have a total of $150 margin used at very low leverage. And so, but it's a full 1-to-1 would be making $153 on it. But I'm not going for the full 1-to-1 on these. I'm going for about a 25% gain on them. And just because basically I realized I'm not good at the longer trades yet. I'm not good at holding longer. I get impatient. Then my emotions still come out. I brought the meme coin degen mindset here that at any moment it's going to dump. Even though I'm short here, at any moment a whale could come in and it could pump, and you're like, ah! So I've got that mindset, which is I'm trying to work through my system, and it's difficult. So I have a tough time now holding for the long term. And so right now I'm focusing on making smaller amounts of gains and locking them in so I can finish every day up. Right now I'm finishing the day. I will be finishing the day down, but this trade looks like it's going to play well. I'm going to put a stop in right now to guarantee that I do make some money. Stop. Let's see. Hold on. I'm using a new exchange in which we will announce shortly. I shouldn't say another one, but a new partner to the show, which I'll announce shortly. Let's see. My stop's going to go in at let's see, blah, blah, blah. 117. All right, so I put the stop loss in. I'd bring it up here, but I have it up on a different browser that's not plugged into the system here right now. Anyways, we wait for Pedro to come back. So if you recall, about a month ago, I started trading in real life. Oop. Pedro seems to be talking, but I don't know why I can't hear him. Because I have him on mute. That's why. There we go, Pedro. Pedro in the house.
Hey.
There's Pedro. I was just going over my short that I was in and where it's ended up now. I'm up 10% in it right now. While you were off, I put in a stop order so that it will finish out in the plus even if it goes against me now. So as they say, I'm trading on government money right now. No, I'm trading on house money right now. But what I was talking about, Pedro, is that I have a goal of just making 25% on this trade, even though not a 1-to-1. And the reason is that I'm still not good at holding the trade to its intended target. I still have the degen emotion in me that at any moment it's going to dump. Going to rug pull, or at any moment, like I'm short, I'm like, any moment, Michael Saylor will come in and buy $5 billion and go boop, or Trump will say something, oh, no tariffs on China, and then it goes up 1,000 points. And so I have set myself smaller goals so I can achieve them and then expand upon as they grow, as I get better at it. And so, because that's an area that I have difficulty. I listen to you all the time talking about, the weeks ahead, hours ahead, days ahead, hours ahead, minutes ahead. And I can follow very well the minutes ahead and into the shorter future time. But, having a trade that's going to last all day, I don't mean like an investment one, like, I think Bitcoin's going to go up over the next month and just put a trade in and forget about it. I'm talking about a scalp or something like that where you're like, no, I want to turn $15 into $45. $15 gets to $20, and I'm like, woo, this market could go against me. I better sell it. And it's hard working that emotion out instead of letting the trade do its thing and learning from it and see where you made a mistake and yada yada yada. Because there's been a lot of times where I have set the trade and it's been up very nicely, and I'm like, okay, it's going to hit the goal. It doesn't. It turns around and comes and stops me out. And I'm like, even before you get to the point of taking, your 60 or 70 points, 70%. And that always sits on me and grinds me. I don't know if you're talking there, Pedro, or not.
I am. I'm actually trying to fix my have my camera here. Give me 1 second. That should work. Yes, there we go. All right, that's so much better.
So that was just explaining that to the audience. I'm not, as I said,
I got it.
I'm not looking for a lesson on that right now. It's just I was using that as filler.
This is actually a really good lesson to actually even talk about, because a lot of times when you're looking at the market, what that means is that you have not done enough back testing. And if any of you guys feel that same way, that means you have not done enough back testing where you can feel confident in your edge that you've created with that trade. So that means you need to go back to the charts and you need to back test more, which means you need to sit there and put more rules based off of what is actually happening. In doing that, that allows you then to be able to become more confident, knowing, all right, I should hit a 1-to-1. Like, for example, when I go over my trades and I say, when we hit liquidity points, I'm always waiting for that to hit. And then I know that once it pushes above with volume, that as it comes down, and I'm watching the 8-period moving average come up and showing strength, right? I've seen it. I've seen the crossover. In addition, the 8 and 20 crossover. I'm watching it to come down and hit it. I'm watching the way the wick is actually developing. And when as I'm seeing, if I'm going long, I want to see the market sell off first thing, the first 5 minutes, or not the first 5 minutes, but the first like 2 or 3 minutes, right? In addition to that, as it comes down and hits that 8-period moving average, I want to see the 8-period moving average respond to, or excuse me, I want to see volume respond to the 8-period moving average as it correlates to the sell-off. And additionally to that, I want to see the 20-period also lip up as I see the market move. Right. And additionally to that, I'm looking at the 15, I'm looking at the 30-minute, I'm looking at the hour chart in relationship to, are we creating a low here, or are we actually creating, or is this going to push through this area? It's going to go up just a little bit and then sell off. So those are the small details. Like, remember I tell you, just don't trade on one chart. As my coach always says to me, I plan on, like, and this is important, not to be monolithic, meaning don't be monolithic. Don't be stuck on one time frame. Don't be so fixed on one time frame that you don't actually see the full narrative that is actually happening. You know how you guys, for example, I've taken this to my life experiences, right? Like when I look at circumstances, I look at the individual situation and I step back and go, okay, how does this fit over the next 5 or 1 year, 1 month, 6 month, year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year. Each marker in this market I've called now multiple times, and I'm not trying to say I'm right. I'm looking for the right answer. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. Like I've gone on public statements saying, look, I'm wrong in this, right? Bitcoin hitting 30. So I was wrong. I did not have the right answer. Right? I missed something there.
Right.
Right. Or I took information there from other people and didn't fully, I did not fully analyze it. Right. So it's not about being right. It's about understanding where the situation is going to happen and finding the right answer. So this is why a lot of times I'm able to kind of predict what is actually going to happen in Washington, what is happening in crypto, and take advantage of that, because I'm looking for, I go back and back test this. I play many scenarios and realize what's most likely going to be the best answer with people. And it's in the same sense. So go back, look at that. You need to do more research. If you're 5 minutes stopping you out, well, broaden out, pull back. What's one of the things I always look at? Look at the daily chart. Why? Daily chart dictates to me. I look at the weekly chart, look at the monthly chart. I look at the 3 month, the 6 month, because if we hit certain levels and you're not understanding where you're at in the circumstance, you're just going to get crushed.
I've done, well, a great example is just not the other day, but the last week or 2 weeks ago, I had a trade. I'm looking at the trend, and I won't tell you the time frame, but it's clearly going down. Lower lows, lower highs. It's going down. It's the trend. You're looking at many candles, boop, 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 going down. And I put it on a small trade, or a trade, doesn't matter how big it is. And it stopped me out very quickly. went the other way very quickly. I was like, gosh, I was following the trend and all that. But then I went to the chart one time frame higher. Not one time frame, but a higher time frame. Probably 5 to the 15 or 15 to the hour, whichever one. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. And the trend was completely the opposite.
Yes.
Right. And that was just a little microcosm. That was, on the smaller time frame, it was like, oh, this thing's going down. And then on the 1 hour chart, it was clearly just the little cog in the higher highs in the higher lows.
Yep.
But when you zoom in, it's like, it's going down, it's rug pulling, Bitcoin's going to zero. Then you zoom out and you're like, oh shit, that was obviously going up. If I had gone long, if I had just reversed the trade, it would have been not reversed it. If I had done the opposite, my trade would have played out exactly. And I was like, duh, remember.
Well, it's not just remember, is that you need to do the same thing the same way every single time you look at a trade. I've talked about you developing, and all of our listeners developing a trading plan. Meaning, like, I literally start at on Monday, Monday and Tuesday, I start at the weekly chart. Okay. And then on Friday, I look at the weekly chart again. Now, for like this week, I look at the monthly chart. I have it marked on me on my personal trading charts, the monthly levels. Okay. And as we're coming up to them, I then switch to see what's going to happen with these levels as well as moving averages. So I start there, and then based off of my rules, I go backwards, right? Monthly. Now, if we're coming up to the 3-month mark area or halfway through the 3 months, so it's a month and a half, right? Boom. I look at it during the 6-month mark. We're in the 7th month. Last month, we were going over and we were looking at the 6-month chart where literally the market sits at 6 months, right? One candle, 6 months, right? Like, look, one candle, boom. So sometimes when you look at me, right, like when I was saying, I expect Bitcoin to come down to these lower areas because of simple metrics that I use. And I do the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And it gets ingrained so that I don't get stuck on the 5-minute. I start on that daily, and then I work my time frames down, right? And if you do that, I promise you'll be able to see the market at large, and you don't get stuck on the 5-minute. And then in addition to, if you're looking to go into a trade, sometimes I've gone it 2 or 3 times where I'll go back and just want to make sure I'm seeing the market correctly before I get into that trade. And so whatever trading system you use, I don't care if you're a scalper, I don't care if you're a day trader, I don't care if you are a swing trader, it doesn't matter to me. You need to have a certain system that you go back and you follow the same way, and you have back tested this. The keyword is you have back tested this mechanism, and you actually have a edge in the market that you have proven to yourself that works,
right? So
that you don't get freaked out.
And as you may suspect, in my trading plan, I have written down, start with the higher time frames and work your way down. Sometimes to know what goes through your head, it would amaze me.
Bro, you don't even know. It scares me. I actually track my thoughts too, especially when I'm trading.
I'll just put it out there. Hey, I'm on the air and with a whole bunch of people watching.
Yeah. But they're watching me because I'm authentic and I'm real.
No. They're watching you because they want to make money and they think you can help them do that.
Yeah.
It's not because you eat during the show. Trust me on that.
They love it. Let's take a
I've had at least 3 people tell me that that's disgusting. They're all women, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Yeah, of course it's going to be. I was going to ask, guys. The thing is 80% of our viewership. I'm actually curious. What is our viewership? What is the primary demographic? I'm assuming male, 35 to 40. It's probably 80 to 95, or I would say 95% of our viewership. I would love to know. Crypto Unicorn, it's Effing Ross. What is that? Was it didn't mean gross?
I would say I would think they would mean that was gross. It's weird that the spam stuff didn't usually it X's out the
That
word.
blocks out the effing. Yeah. Well, my bad, my peoples. All right, I'll take in consideration. I'll try my best. Typically, I
try. I keep the button. I've got the video dump button right by my hand, but I'm never fast enough.
Part of me is who's the crypto unicorn?
Someone from YouTube.
Or a guy? Is it a girl or a guy?
Oh, I'm sure it's a guy. I mean, how many women actually follow this show? 2?
Maybe. All right, fair enough. All right, I won't do as much, unless if I I'll make sure I'll eat before. I'll change my my stuff for y'all. Normally, I don't really care to change because I just don't. I don't care.
Pedro, did you know that I eat during the show too?
Yeah, but you take yourself off the market.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you're going on 2 hours, right? And so, but I need to change my intermittent fasting to 10 o'clock instead of like 11:30, 12. So I can always change it and then start eating that way. So, but the only problem is the processing system is typically an hour to 2 hours.
This was what I was waiting for.
Yeah, that's the only issue. So that's the issue. That's the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I work on that? So I don't know. Maybe I can do it 8 and then 10. Maybe we'll see.
It's a 2-hour show. There's no reason one of us can't take a break for 10 minutes. And that the other one say, all right, do your thing for 10 minutes while I have my mid-show break. I mean, most people that do shows have an intermission, have commercial breaks, or the other hosts come on and take over for 20 minutes, and they're running down the hall like, gotta go. And they leave their mic on hot so the whole nation hears them flatulating away. That actually happened to me when I was in not happened to me, but I was a listener when I was in biology class in college, and it wasn't the main professor. It was one of his the guy that operated the overhead machines. It was like a graduate student, and he left to go have an emergency situation, and he had one set of bathrooms is far enough away where the wireless mic doesn't pick it up. But apparently there was a special teacher bathroom underneath the because it was one of those stadium style seating rooms, and there was a hidden bathroom back down there, and it was close enough to get the wireless mic, and we heard the whole thing because the teacher was an old guy. He didn't know how to go turn it off. So, I mean, it was one of those crying events where people are crying and people come back in and we're like, your mic was on. And he's like, oh! It was just epic. Anyway, I don't know if Pedro's frozen or not. Oh, no, he's moving. But Bitcoin coming back down now, enriching me.
Enriching you. Coming down.
Up 16%
Remember I
now.
talked about the 20-period moving average? Remember how I said we'll probably see a bit of a bounce there? Right, so that was this area right in this level.
Oh, sorry, I don't have the charts up here. Let me hit this button here and bring the charts back up.
All right, so this is, I said we should see some a bounce or something of that nature. This was the 20-period moving average. So that's actually what you saw actually coming in. So we came down to this area, and then we saw the bounce. But the key point is we're not really seeing any demand wicks, right? And so, but we're just seeing more supply wicks down at the bottom part here. We're actually watching a couple other areas, but really you can just see we're putting in lower highs, lower lows, right? And so you would expect this to continue as it comes down. Now, granted, this is the 20-period moving average, so I do expect it not to just to blow through this. We'll see some constant, we'll see the market here play in relationship to it, but part of me wants to drink my my special ed side wants to just play. All right, focus here. You can see here that I expect this thing to kind of come in and kind of continue down. And so for me, if I'm looking at this level, like how far is it going to go? We've already played at this level right here. This is where a liquidity point is right here. You see the big push up here where all the stops are at. And in conjunction with that, you also have the 20 period moving average there. So they're stopping out a lot of people right now. Okay. And so these people right now are getting stopped out. How far is it going to go? Well, if we go to the 15-minute period moving average or even the 30-minute, you can see that it's really playing off of that 30-minute and the 1 hour chart level here. And so you can see now that we're coming into it, how far is it going to go down? I expect it really to kind of come down into these, either down at that 17 area, the 117,200 area.
That's where I have my take 60% at.
Yeah, and then the other one is, now remember, I know your stop is at the local high up here, but it doesn't need to be there because we're already starting to show with volume increase.
Oh, my stop is way down here. Yeah, right about there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, right. All right, so that pullback. All right, okay, that's it. Okay, good area. So this from here to here, you should be, if you got in right at these levels here, right, you should be at least a 1-to-1 ratio at this level here. So right now, if you're probably at a 2 or 3-to-1 ratio, which is a good ratio, right? I would have been looking to capture it at like that 1-to-1. And again, this is something, if you keep doing every single day, it just works. Like you're going to, your 1-to-1 ratio will hit almost 80. I can't give you guys numbers because I don't know how disciplined people
it
are.
It retraced and I got stopped out. Just like that. Boop. See? That's what I'm always afraid of. I'm always afraid of it just going to jump right back up. It jumped right back up, busted through the 50 period moving average. Stop me out. Oh, made, let's see how much money did it, what percentage did I make on it? Well, I don't know the percentage, but I made $12.
How much money did you put in? $2?
Oh, no. I did. That would have been a 6x.
So if you made $12, I'm assuming you put $5 in or $10?
No, I only made about 25%. I put in, I think it was $53 in margin.
So $53, you made $12. So that is like, about 25%. Not bad. Absolutely not bad at all. It's 25%.
And I know it's going to go back down, but I don't know that. Obviously, I don't know what's going to go back down. But
well, I'm really looking. If we look at the hour, right? So you can sit there and see that I'm looking like this would be the area of the retest that I'd be looking for it to hit. It's going to be around that 18 area. So that's really the area that I personally would be looking at. So I want to make sure New York. Boom. So right here. And then so we're talking 11, 12, 1, 2. Oh my goodness, it's already 2 o'clock. Dude, where's the time fly? So yeah, I would look.
Oh shit! I have a. Oh wait, it's 2 o'clock Eastern time, not Central time. All right.
Yeah.
I got a 3 o'clock appointment.
Yes. All right.
But local time here, so it's a ways away.
Got it.
We've got a YouTube comment here from Ismail. Where can I buy XAI1Z token on pre-sale? It's written everywhere that XAI1Z is a very serious project and will start to grow after pre-sale.
Great shill. Great shill.
Ismail, thank you for the shill. We really appreciate it. As you can tell, we're open to shills here.
Yeah, I was going to say, great shill.
That was a great soft shill there. It's just letting everyone know that there's a pre-sale for it, and then it's going to moon afterwards, because I'm sure it will. XAI1Z.
Dude, you know who I miss? Like, legit. I miss Walter. Where is Walter been in our life?
He's off.
You know
He's
what I'm
off. He's off. He's still doing his thing, but
Yeah.
as you
no
may
longer
suspect, he had a
approved.
problem with another one of his ventures. And so he's. In fact, I haven't spoken with him in a couple of 2 or 3 weeks here, so I don't know. But when he did his own project, I can't remember which one it was. He said, "I'm doing it myself," and he used a launch pad that rugged. The launch pad didn't rug; they got hacked, like right when his project was going to go live. So he lost a big bunch of his liquidity and stuff. Let's see. Crypto Mike just comes out and says you should buy the military finance. Red Friday NFTs coming to worldnftmarketplace.com soon. That's Mike's NFT marketplace. Mike's a good chiller too. Chills his own products. Keep at it, Mike. Keep up with the military finance stuff and raising that money for vets.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Are you sharing at all or no?
I have, yeah.
Okay, because we're up. Our numbers are up. So I was just wondering. That's pretty nice. Are we going to keep on, or what are we looking at?
No, I'm gonna need. I've got another 10 minutes or so, but I have to drive fairly far here.
Okay, well let's go ahead and just kind of close up the show. I just want to give everybody some time to say, guys, come tomorrow. I will make sure that I am not eating on air because y'all don't like it, which I really don't care. I know it sounds horrible, but I'm like, whatever. Like, if we were all hanging out, like, y'all know, like, as Tom, like, I'm very polite and I'm very kind. I'm like one of the most nicest guys you'll ever meet, right? And I'm very considerate of other people. But when I'm hungry, like Tom knows, like I kind of change. Yeah, like I just need to eat because I know, like, I get my blood sugar dropping, and before you know it, I'm like, "F you, dude." Like, I don't care. Like also the Pedro, like the douche comes out, and or the Joe Pesci comes out, right? So that's why I always try to keep the Pesci at bay, by making sure that my blood sugar is always roughly about the same area. Don't try to spike it. Don't try to drop it. So. And it drives Tom. Remember when I would? I only eat out of glass or drink out of glass. So we're walking to the conference, right? And I'm sitting there holding on the thing, and you're like, "Dude, do you always?" I said, "Bro, I have to. You don't understand. Like, if I don't, like, I become a douche. Like, and I really try because my body just doesn't like not having stuff going in it. Good stuff." Best way of putting it. You know, I don't know how to put it, you know? It's not like this is not me. That's all I'm saying. You know?
It's not like it is not me.
You know,
all right,
what you
ladies
see
and
is what you
gentlemen.
get. What you see is what you get. That's it. Same bat time, same bat channel. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. We're topping off over at 17 views. I think we're going to probably peak at about 200. Dude, I've noticed that our views are getting up now, 250, 300. Everything.
Yeah, we have past couple of weeks, we've had 400 views. We've had a couple in the 300, 200s. Yeah. And the replays, the people watch live a little bit longer now. And the replays, they don't watch that long, but it's getting longer. So it's growing. That's good. That's a good thing. So the growth is happening, and thank you to Rumble for that. YouTube, I just don't know what's going on with YouTube. It's just you provide this similar content, gets better all the time.
Yeah,
market's pumping. It's like this is when all the viewers come back, and everyone in the crypto market is like, YouTube sucks.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's not just us. It's a lot of the other KOLs. And so it's really interesting to see. But I mean, I got to give it up to Rumble. Rumble, you guys have been really solid with us. Want to thank you guys again for allowing us to stream and giving us opportunity to make pennies on our dollars, which we thank you. And but more importantly, right, we get to say what we want to say, and we're able to say things that may not be cool. It's all right. It may not be one of those things that people want to hear. But as you can see, it works out well for us. So, and that breaks me heart so much, Tom, because I knew it was going to go down. And I want to tell you, jump back in.
I did jump back in.
Good. I love it, dude. All right, good job. Love it. All right. Anyways, so as you guys can see, I want people to win. I want people to win more than you just don't even understand. I had a friend, he was a preacher. He goes, I've never met anybody who wants to see people win as much as you do. And I go, really? He goes, dude, it's just like, it's almost like party. I go, I don't know what it is, but I want people to win with what they want to win on. That's really what it is. Right? It's not like I don't want you to, like, if you decide to get into trading, dope. But I want to give you tools that you can be excellent at whatever you do. And the best way to do that is journal and write down what you think and then see if it actually does it.
Write it down, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I always have right here, I always have my I call it the Great Book of Rug Pulls, because I left over from when doing Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked.
We need to do that.
Sit down on it. Actually, I have a spreadsheet that I use, but I write things down here too, all that type of stuff. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going out once again to the song All Gassed Up, because we're all gassed up for this market, by Tree City West. Thank you very much to everyone that watched today. All 8 bazillion of you, we really appreciate it. Tomorrow is Technical Tuesday. We'll go more into depth on the economic indicators of the world and the news from around the world that affects your bags and teaches you what you're really listening to in the media. When the dollar is strong, people are not as strong as it was. People are like, oh my God, that president was bad. The dollar was stronger. Well, a weaker dollar is better a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, because then our manufacturing can export more. Those are just the little life lessons you learn here on the DYOR Media Network. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. The man in the box next to me, Mr. Pedro Garcia, crypto chart analyst, and Pedro Damas de Jour. We'll see you tomorrow. Be there.
Jack Love at last, I'm at peace with this fast blood. Only took a crash landing down in the trash mud to figure out why I've been so smashed up. Holy moly, lonely.